First of all, should we start from the top? Why don't you talk to us a bit about what Finyl Tweek are and what they do?
Finyl Tweek is a company that basically works with sound. We do everything from stem mixes to mastering to duplication. It's been going 3 years now, but I've been here basically 23 years. So
wow,
it used to be Heathman's mastering a long time ago. And yeah, day-to-day jobs is coming in and getting through as much work as possible.
Yeah, you are busy, aren't you? How many jobs do you get through in a day?
I mean, it all depends really. It all depends on the tracks, if it's attended, if it's unattended. It really, you know, who knows? It really takes one of those ones. I mean, for instance, sometimes I'm here on Monday and then I go home on a Thursday. So my bed's outside, basically. The couch out there is my bed. So yeah, so there's lots of work, which is great. And lots of cuts to be done, but plus as well I've got daily stuff to do because I'm one of the directors, so you've got paperwork to do. Meeting this morning, that's why this got delayed a couple of hours just because of meetings. So, and yeah, and it's great. There's only 5 of us here and it's fantastic, so long may it last. Touch wood.
Yeah. And how did you get into it in the beginning?
I worked in a recording studio called Livingston in Wood Green. I was tape hopping down there, working with people like Cold Cut, Soup Dragons, Yaz, lots of big life stuff back in the day. And when I could kind of see it changing in the recording side of things, I wanted to get into something a bit more final. So I got into mastering and worked at a company called Take One Studios. Worked there for a few years and learned off people like Stuart and people like Jack Adams, and looked at people like at Exchange and that kind of stuff, or what they'd done, and wanted to get into using a VMS 80 cutting machine, which that one there, that one's called Russia. She's my girl, and she's called Russia because that's where she's from, Russia.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Yeah, she's from Russia, and yeah, she's top. And yeah, so I just wanted to get into it, and got into it, and realising the hours are long and enjoyable. So so yeah, I'm still here doing it, and we're cutting a high contrast album today. So the vinyl's still alive and kicking in my eyes. Nothing's changed there really. Whether sales are going up or down, don't really pay too much attention. Just try and get the record stand as best as possible. The business is still
coming in, so the sales must be there.
Yeah, sales are there. Definitely, definitely.
And maybe tell us about some of the kind of bigger releases you worked on, like
LaRue, and you know, LaRue been in, massive record there, helped Scream go places, I reckon, with that tune. Worked with Dido, which was really nice. Do a lot of stuff for Rollo and Bliss, the old Faithless, but they're doing Rollo and Bliss stuff now and still working with them. And there's lots of stuff that comes through Warner's and who is it off the top of my head now? I can't remember. But there's a ton of stuff. You can check the website and Discogs for all the stuff I've done. I mean, I get so much stuff during the day and night that you kind of like, by the time the next morning comes, you've just got another stack load of stuff. So it just keeps going. But yeah, loads and loads of good stuff coming through. You know, loads of good stuff.
So tell us about what you're actually doing here with the album.
With the album, listen. You will turn that down. You know, listening to the album that High Contrast has brought in today, there's a lot of vocals, so I'm looking to keep all the vocals nice and clean off disc, bringing that bass up so it's nice and warm around the vocals, and just making sure that there's no real distortion coming back. Just nice clean cuts basically. He's fantastic with his mix downs, to be honest. His mids and tops are always very precise. They're always very good. So I'm just trying to get that extra warmth, extra rumble, and that extra attitude from the vinyl, I would say. Just because I think that's what vinyl it is. It's a special piece. It's something you can hold. It's something you can keep. You know, and you want it to sound good because it's what I would say is the final file that you put away and you keep and you collect and you play.
And what would you say about that final product? can it offer to people that you just don't get in MP3s?
Just the whole visual part of it, looking at a label, seeing who's cut it, the scribing, the artwork, you know, if it's coloured vinyl, if it's just, even if it's just a normal vinyl, but at the end of the day, you can't hold an MP3. It can be easily lost, and they never really sound the same, to be honest. And I don't know, vinyl's for life, you know, vinyl's for life in my eyes. It's not vinyl till it's vinyl.
Yeah, and so do you reckon you could give us top 5 tips for a producer?
Well, I would say make sure if you're doing vocals, which a lot of things I'm seeing now, a lot of vocals involved in the music, especially dance stuff as well. It does always come with an instrumental, but a lot of main tracks I'm seeing now have vocals. Be careful of the sibilants, watch the S's, make sure they're nice and clean, you know, off your pre-master, so you can get a nice clean cut. Be careful of things like bell trees, muted horns. Those kind of things can break up on vinyl. And try and maybe leave -3 dB of headroom, so you can play with the track a bit and just bring it up as much as possible to its loudest peak without distortion. And yeah, make it bang, and make it bang, and give it your attitude, you on the music, you know.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Totally.
Cool.
Totally. Set up for a 45 cut. I'm just going to get a disc. Much bigger than an MP3. It's cut on the Transco lacquer. I'm just going to do a test cut on the outside of this disc, just to see what frequencies are pulling on the amp rack and see how the bass comes back off the Technics. Hopefully it won't blow up. Well, hopefully the album will blow up, but hopefully the machine won't. As you can hear, I'll turn the volume down, but you can now hear it from the head. So it's going through and from the head. Oh, it's spilling there a little bit. I'll tell you what, pause that. That wasn't supposed to happen. You can do a little edit there. Look, let me just drop the head again. Sometimes this will happen. This is the cutting anyway. Something interesting to show you. But sometimes the Hoover gets, but that's swarf, and that is a cutting. So that's some high contrast beats there that make that.
Not to be mistaken with his hair.
I mean, you can let that drop, but just to get proper sound, because sometimes it can go in front of the pin and it can just not cut the groove as well.
So what are you looking for in
Basically, just looking at the hats and the vocals. There doesn't seem to be too much sibilance in the vocals. Just making sure it's all behaving right. But really, as you say, the proof's not in the pudding until you've done the test cut and you've really played it off the Technics. That is the final piece.